Okay, so now I want to talk about your sales video, or it could be a sales letter, but we're mostly going to talk about sales video. And there's one absolute thing that you must do, and this is the most important thing. This is probably the biggest mistake I see in sales letters and sales videos. So I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. We're going to give you step by step on how to do this. But the most important thing, if you get this right, then it's like game over, you win, is you need to focus on the transformation. And what I mean by that is your prospect, when they step up and purchase from you, then their life is going to change in some way. That's why you're selling them something. And there's going to be some transformation in their life. If you don't like that word, think about change. How is their life going to change? What is the impact that's going to be on their life once they purchase your product? It's it's all about the transformation. It's not about the stuff. It's not about the whatever they get, the goop or the DVDs or the CDs or the widget or whatever. It's about how their life's actually going to change, because that's really what they want. If you look at Product Launch Formula, when I sold this product, whenever I sell Product Launch Formula, I don't talk about, you're going to get a bunch of videos, you're going to get a bunch of modules, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. I talk about how it's going to change their life. They're going to be able to launch a business. They're going to be able to launch a product and have that instant momentum. They're not going to be dependent on hope marketing. That's what I mean about the transformation. If you're teaching people how to play songs on a guitar, it's not that you're going to send them a book and a DVD. You're going to give them the ability to be able to play songs for themselves and for their friends. Their ability to entertain people, to be the center of a party. The self-worth that they're going to have from being able to play songs. If you're going to teach them how to train their dog, again, it's not some DVDs, it's not some videos, it's not a forum. It's having this dog that will come instantly when you call them every time, and that greater joy that they'll have in their life because of their better relationship with their dog. If you're going to teach them how to play tennis, it's not about what the actual stuff is. It's the ability to walk on the court and have the confidence and win that match. The stuff doesn't matter. Or it might matter a little bit, but it only matters 10%. You got to focus on the transformation. So if you forget everything else, but you get this right, then you're going to end up with a great sales message, a great sales video. Another thing is, don't assume that everyone who's going to see your sales video has seen your pre-launch content, that they've been actually through your launch. In an ideal world, they will have watched all your pieces of pre-launch content. They'll have watched them twice. They'll have memorized them. But the reality is people are busy. And they don't always watch every single one of your pre-launch videos. They don't, or they might not remember them. Or they'll skip through them. Or they'll see a beginning and they'll turn it off. So you can't assume. Don't go into the sales letter or the sales video and just start making the sale. You have to open with the big promise. Now, if you go back to your first piece of pre-launch content, hopefully you open that with a big promise. And you grab their attention. You have to do the same thing with your sales video. You don't just come into the sales video and say, well, you saw my pre-launch content, this is great stuff, and this is what it cost. You have to basically, you have to grab their attention, and you have to revisit that promise and the overall launch theme. That doesn't mean you're going to completely repeat your pre-launch content, right? This isn't like, you did 3 18-minute videos and now you're going to just repeat them and then ask for the money. This is a sales video. I'm going to walk you through the process. But you can't assume they've seen that promise, they've seen that theme that you had in your pre-launch. You don't want to get overly complicated. It's really easy to get way too complex with these things, and you don't want to be too boring. In fact, you don't want to be boring at all. And in terms of length, a lot of times people worry about the length, how long should it be? And this might sound a little simplistic, but you need to make it as long as it needs to be and not 1 second longer. So you need to tell your whole story, the whole story of your product. You need to tell that promise and the story of your product and why it's going to change their lives and how it's going to transform their lives. And so you have to be very complete there, but you got to make it as short as you can within that context. So, I mean, I've had sales videos myself that were 30, 40, maybe even close to 50 minutes long, and I still sweat every single second and every single minute. So I'm trying to make it as short as possible, even if it's 47 minutes long. I still, in that case, it was a product that needed that length of sales video. On the other hand, you'll see some examples. I'm going to show you some examples here of sales videos that were more like in that 10-minute, 12-minute range, and they were very effective. You know, there's an old saying in copywriting that your sales letter, and we're going to say sales video in this case, your sales video can never be too long. It can only be too boring. So you got to make it as long as it needs to be and not any longer. Don't be boring. And the thing is don't take it and, you know, if you're teaching about how to play golf and your best friend is not a golfer, don't run the sales video by them for their feedback. Or don't run it by your spouse if your spouse is not a golfer. It has to be interesting to the people that you're selling to. I'll guarantee you a really good sales video for a product about golf to a non-golfer is going to put them to sleep immediately, and they'll tell you it's absolutely too long, but they're not interested in the market. You have to keep your avatar in mind. Then finally, as a bit of a warm-up here, you do not want to sell from your heels. You don't, by that I mean, leaning back, sort of deer in the headlights, you're scared about it, you don't want to be selling from there. You want to be selling from power. Now, first of all, you got to have a great product. If you don't have a great product, you don't need to bother. Just make sure it's a great product. And if you do it like, the seed launch, start off with that seed launch like I taught you, you're going to have a great product. If you're very interactive in your product and always tap into the market and what the market needs, then you're going to have a great product. So we're going to assume you got that great product. What you need to do before you shoot the sales video, this is really important. Before you shoot the sales video, I want you to meditate, or I'm going to use that term because that's something I do in my life is I meditate, but if you don't like that word, just think about how your product is going to change your avatar's life. Think about the impact you are going to have on them. Really get real. Think about a real person, your real avatar. How is it going to impact their life? How is it going to impact their life now, immediately when they get your product? How is it going to impact their life in 3 months, in 1 year, in 5 years? How is it going to change their life? Think about who they are going to become. The changes throughout their entire life. Even if you're teaching them how to play tennis, if all of a sudden they become a more confident tennis player, they become a more confident person. Think about the big impact it's going to have on them. Who are they going to become? Think about how their life will change. Think about the positive impact they're going to have on other people. If all of a sudden they become a better tennis player and a more confident person, maybe they become a better parent, a better friend, a better spouse. Think about all the ripples throughout their life and the ripples that they'll have on other people. Then think about what will happen if they don't get your product. If they don't become that tennis player, if they don't become a more confident person, think about what it'll cost them. And then think about what if they get someone else's lousy product that's nowhere near as good as yours? How will that mess up their life? How will that set them back? And you really want to think about those things and really get super clear on that and spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, really, I'm going to say it again, meditating on that, really focusing on those things before you shoot your video. And then you're going to be able to sell from a place of power. That is the place you want to be selling from. Not from your heels. You want to be selling from certainty and from power. And you do that, you get there by focusing on that transformation that your product is going to have. Make it real in your mind, and then you're going to be able to step in front of the camera and just knock it out of the park.